All right, so let's talk about sharpening now. And one of the things that happens is people go, okay, when should I sharpen? Should I sharpen when I start or at the end? And you get kind of angst about what you're doing with your sharpening in Lightroom. And the quick answer is you can do it any time, because remember, it lays on top. The sharpening doesn't happen to the actual image, it's happening on top. And it doesn't build on everything else, so it doesn't mess up if you sharpen before you do clarity and all these other things. You can do them at any time, whichever way you want. That's different than if you're going over to Photoshop or something like that. Sometimes it makes a difference which way you sharpen things and when. The other thing that I would say is when you're going to sharpen, decide if you're going to sharpen everything and do everything in Lightroom, or you're going to go over to another program like Photoshop. If you are going to go over to Photoshop, I would wait and sharpen over there, or whatever other program you're using as your final output. Wait till then to do the sharpening rather than in Lightroom. However, if everything's going to happen in Lightroom, then you're going to want to go to the detail panel to do your sharpening. So we're just going to kick over here, click on it, and now you notice I have my panel over here open, and that's kind of a little indicator of what's going on. You'll also see this little exclamation point right up here, and it even tells you, whoops, I kicked off of it. If I hang over there for a minute, it says for a more accurate preview, zoom to at least 100%. And that's a great little clue of what you need to do. And it even, if you click on that, toggle that down, it will give you 100% preview right in here. So at least you've got 100% preview of whatever you're sharpening. And usually you want to find the most important thing to view in here. But to be honest, what I like to do is come over here, and as soon as I close that up, the exclamation point pops up until I hit 1:1, which means 100% view. The exclamation point disappears. It says, all right, you're at 100%. Now we can sharpen, and that's the best way to do it. So you'll notice that if you double click on sharpening, this is kind of its default setting. It's assuming that this is a raw photo and that you're going to want some sharpening just to kind of bring it back to its normal sharpening. You can tweak the work it so that you get the radius and detail and stuff down to 0, but this is the starting point that Lightroom wants to have you at, and it's a pretty good starting point. Now, most people understand sharpening. The amount is just to crank it up. You can crank it up to 100, or you can crank it down here. Let's just crank it all the way up to 100 for the example so you can see on the screen kind of what's going on. Now radius, I can bring it down to 0, and pretty much it eliminates almost, it won't let you actually go all the way to 0, but it shrinks it down. And what radius says is, all right, I'm looking for the difference in contrast and the lines and everything, and I'm going to sharpen up those areas by bumping up the contrast. You decide by radius how far out I go from those lines and affect change on those lines. And so the higher the radius, the more effect that it's going to have spreading out. And you'll notice that it goes from half a pixel all the way out to 3. So it's not huge, but usually a good place to keep around is about 1.2, somewhere around there. And then detail, what it's saying is how many things is it going to go out and find. It's almost like the sensitivity to how it's going to sharpen. It's like, I'm going to find everything out there if I'm super detail, so I'm going to go way up here. It's going to try to sharpen everything it can find, whereas if you go down here, it's going to be more mellow, and only the real bold things is it going to try to sharpen. So you can crank that up. You can see how it works. It's kind of like taking the amount and saying, yeah, really apply this to everything. But then this masking can confuse people, because you really kind of start dragging it back and forth, and you're not really sure what's going on and how it's applying what it's applying to it, unless you remember the keyboard shortcut Alt-Option, which I call it kind of the super key in Lightroom and Photoshop. If I hold that down and I start dragging on masking, look what happens. It starts showing where it's applying the sharpening. And anywhere there's black, it's not sharpening. Anywhere there's white, it is sharpening. So if I drag it all the way over here with no masking, it's sharpening everything. But if I start bringing it back, I really only want it in the main detail areas, the eye, the edges of the fur, but I don't want it in the sky and other things like that. Let's bring that back over here, And if we look in the sky, I don't want the sky to get sharpened. So if I'm over here, it's going to start sharpening the crud in the sky. So I want to make sure I'm at least going back over here. But so what happens is now the sharpening is just simply applied to the areas that I want it applied to. The eyes, the nose, I can even crank it over here so it's just in those areas. But what that allows to happen is for you to sharpen even more in those big areas that you want sharpened, the eyes and stuff like that, and not worry about skin getting all funky and the sky getting blotchy and stuff like that. So understanding that masking is really huge in your sharpening. Let's look at the difference. If I come in here, in any of these panels, if you click on the little toggle right here, that's no sharpening, and that's sharpening. You got to pay attention to the eyes right here. No sharpening and sharpening. Now I could have it have more of an impact if I bring this back and less masking. There's no sharpening and sharpening, but I tend to like to make it a little more subtle and just in those certain areas, so before and after. Now here's the thing I want to tell you about sharpening. Even though you watch CSI and these other programs, there is no magic bullet to recover images where you've missed. Here I started working on sharpening and I've cranked it up, and look, the hand and everything over here, the bracelet is super sharp, but if you miss the eyes, you miss the shot. And no matter how much I try to crank up the sharpening and mask it and do whatever, I've missed the shot here. I can't recover those eyes and make them sharper. I could maybe try to recreate the eyes in Photoshop. I could get the adjustment brush and try to sharpen it even more, and we're going to talk about that in just a little bit, but I can't recover those eyes to where it's going to be acceptable. I missed the shot. So a lot of times sharpening is a great teacher of your photography skills, because you'll realize, crap, that was a great shot and I missed the eyes. It'll inform you when you're shooting. So that's the wonderful thing about sharpening in here. The other caveat that I would say is when you're getting ready to send this out, you're either deciding I'm going to send it out on the web, video or whatever, or I'm going to print it. Your sharpening for those two different types of output will be different. If you're sending it out to print, you can sharpen a little higher because as it gets printed, it softens a little bit. Whereas if you're sending it out to web, you're getting what you see is what you get. You want to tone down your sharpening just a little bit so it doesn't look crunchy. And those are kind of some of the quick points and the ways that you can sharpen and really get your image the sharpest you can in Lightroom, and just understanding some more of the process. But remember, just like with everything else, it's laying on top of the image. It's non-destructive, so if you go overboard or underboard and you go print it and you say, no, it's not right, you can just come back and change it and you haven't affected the original image. So get in there and play around, and especially if you're printing stuff at home, try some different sharpness levels and see what prints out the best on your printer. And then you can maybe set a preset for that, for what your sharpening is. So every time you get ready to output it, you just do a preset for that sharpening and you're good to go.